Welcome, guys, to my Golden Bachelor recap episode. I think it's episode 4 of the inaugural season. And we keep getting little bits of them letting us know, listen, this is the first time we're doing this, and aren't we glad this is the first time we're doing it? You never forget your first time, people. So welcome back, guys,
Well,
to
except maybe
this
Gary,
recap.
he forgot his first marriage
Oh,
or his first
Jesus, for
wedding.
real. I was like, listen,
Yeah, he did forget that.
is that a guy thing or an age thing, though?
I don't
Uh,
know.
Or
oh
maybe
my
he
God.
compartmentalized it and he just didn't want to necessarily go back there because it's gonna like bring him back to like his whole life with his ex-wife or his wife, and then kind of be reminded that it's a loss. So maybe that's why he doesn't remember his first wedding. But I'm just teasing.
Yeah.
Gary can do no wrong. I love Gary.
Oh my
Gary's
gosh, he's so
awesome.
good. He's so good. We need to they need to package him somehow.
I know.
Send out other younger models. Send me a younger model.
But like, okay, that's a question. Good question though. Is the younger model going to be how Gary is, right? Like, are they going to have that knowledge of how to treat people and like that kindness and consideration when they're 30, 40 years old? Like, is it with age that he's become this amazing person, or is just innately who he is? And so that is also a question.
Yeah,
Like,
that is a question.
maybe they don't exist in a younger model.
Yeah, because we don't. Miss Tony is not here for us to ask her how was Gary when the first 10 years of your marriage. You know what I mean? We don't know. That's very.
She might have raised him. We might be getting the Tony affected version,
the father affected version of having daughters.
Grandfather, the grandfather.
Well, I do like this Gary. I think he's handling things really well. We know it's going to get difficult, but I think he's doing really a good job. And welcome, V. Thank you for coming and catching our live. So to me, another great episode. And I just, by the end of it, I just keep saying the same thing. I'm like, how can I find a Gary? Like, and all these women are saying the same thing. That's what I want. That's what
another thing too is that like I watch obviously all the other love shows, and like I really don't care about these other relationships. I really, really, really don't. And I really am hoping that the Bachelor franchise is taking note that like real love is entertaining.
Yeah.
Kindness is entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, obviously having like the little villain moments, what we'll talk about, was like entertaining. But like, I don't know. We don't need to have these unkind men and women, but men, because that's who I'm attracted to on these shows. That like I just would never see myself with, or I never want a relationship like that with. Like I'm happy that I'm like, ooh, I would love to have that a person like Gary who would treat me like that. On the other shows, there's never anybody that I'm like, ooh, I would like them to treat me like that, or I'd like to be in a relationship with a person like that. Maybe like, oh, someone that looks like him.
Oh yeah,
but like that's about it.
Oh my god! Like I was watching House of Villains, and there's like Jax would make you drool. And I was like, but he's a complete asshole. There's absolutely no.
When Tanisha was like, he's a beautiful douchebag or something.
I love that beautiful douchebag. He's good looking. I don't want to see. I want to see him leave. But I want to watch him go, or whatever he said.
But it's kind of like that. It's like, and to not villainize your leads, like. So it's like when you have a whole cast full of people on Paradise, why are we like they will villainize themselves? Don't sit there and make them fodder for ridicule just to have that. Like it's ridiculous.
And also Jax is our age, guys.
I know he is. I know. He's fine, yo. If it was a white guy, that would be my type. He would like literally tall, beard. very, very much my type. Maybe a
Okay,
little gray
his
hair.
first couple seasons
Yeah.
of Vanderpump Rules, I was like, this guy is really good looking. But like his personality is so bad for
Bad.
me,
Yeah.
and like
I
how
can
he
see
treats
it.
people, how he thinks. Like I love intelligent people, and I think that he is dumb as rocks personally. And
So,
so like I just like so it just makes him just less attractive to me. I was like, well, like, okay, yeah, you're interesting to like nice to look at, but
yeah.
like I
What's
like
in the
falling in
first?
love with your mind and
Yeah.
like, ooh, like you're
Yeah.
so interesting, you know, it's so hot. Like I don't even think he's funny. And like that's really attractive. So yeah.
When New York made him cry,
You were calling him a demon?
Oh my goodness, he said he had never been called that.
But then also he talks about the fact that like his demons are coming out. Right? So like he literally like maybe him like getting angry again. Like it's his demons that she's seeing.
right.
So there's a
Anyway,
little bit of inconsistency there.
yeah, but so I always preface it. I never watched Vanderpump Rules, so I can't. I watched when it was like the very first couple of seasons when she did the restaurant. I forget what it was called. It wasn't called the same thing.
Sir.
Yeah,
Huh?
it was called something different, I think. But and then they changed it to Vanderpump Rules. I think it was like the first couple of seasons, or was it? I
So
don't.
this was a spin-off of Housewives of Beverly Hills. Lisa
Right.
Vanderpump was on Beverly Hills. She owned a restaurant called Sir, and she pitched to Andy Cohen to
Yeah.
have her staff be involved in a television show. So it was always about her restaurant Sir and the people that worked there.
Right.
Then
So
they opened other restaurants. So they opened Pump, they opened Tom Tom, they opened Schwartz and Sandy's. But Sir was the one where Jax worked at because his girlfriend at the time, Stassi, got him a job at Sir.
mhm.
Stassi, and then everybody else also worked there.
Yeah. So whatever the first one or two seasons was, this which I can't even remember right now how long ago that was. That
10
was
years.
probably when I watched it because I was watching Beverly Hills very religiously, and then I kind of just stopped watching most of the Housewives. So, but yeah, so things have happened since then that listen, I was never paying any attention to on that spinoff. Anyway, but yeah, so I will say that when watching these other shows, like I feel like with Love Island, when you have people like this, it makes sense. Like they're in their 20s, they don't know what they want, they're not
Sure.
trying to get married, there's no commitment really. Do all of that. Have your fun, screw people over. Who the hell cares? But when you are propping up a show that you're supposed to be finding the love of your life, you're supposed to be getting married, this is supposed to be it for you. You need to come harder than what we've been getting the last few seasons of Bachelor and Bachelorette, in my opinion.
I 100% agree. And I think it has to do with the age cap. And also I think it has to do with like casting. Cast people that want to be there for love and marriage. It's kind of like, I don't know if you guys watch Survivor, but we've had 2 quits in 4 episodes of the new season of Survivor.
I
And
heard.
like you need to have people that want to be on the show to win the game and stay in the game. And so I feel like they're casting people that don't want the end result, which is causing it not to work very well. And I guess like all they're really going for is drama. So they want to
Yeah.
see people breaking up with other people, but I don't care because I don't
Yeah.
think that they like them. I'm like, okay, well, you don't like them. So it makes sense for me that you're waiting for somebody else to come
Right.
down in Bachelor in Paradise, you know? And so I feel like the formula is working here.
Mhm.
I think it's because the women are all taking it seriously.
Right.
I think that they're all are investing in Gerry, and like most of them are not trying to let the catty banter and all that stuff to deflect from their relationship with Gerry. Like they're just doing The Bachelor right, in my opinion.
Right.
And I'm hoping that it's been a success to the producers so that they will maybe look at the other series in the franchise in the same lens.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, even with Big Brother, I'm watching it and I've only really watched a couple seasons, but to watch people who are like, I'm fine with third place. I'm fine with just making jury. I'm fine with just getting these two guys to win the show, and I'm right behind them. Why? It's $750,000. Why are you throwing
Exactly.
your whole game away for a showman's? Why are you throwing your whole game away just to be friends with somebody? Please stop doing this.
Because they only went on it to have a good time in the first place, to get followers, to get sponsorships, and to hang out, not have to work a real job, have food, be on
I want
TV.
that too, though. Why won't
You
they
know,
give that to the 40 plus? I
Listen,
want
this
to
is
not
what
work
they really
anymore.
wanted. They're young, Corey was in college, and the other ones, in their 20s. Except for Sari and Felicia and Bowie J, even though she's lying about her age, most of them really don't have, stuff going on. Like, even though America has this degree from this Ivy League college, she's, a receptionist. And so people aren't really like in their career. And they're like, oh, it's fun. I'll be on TV. I'll get sponsorships and, hang out and suntan and be in the pool and find a man or find a woman. And, it's
which
just.
is really a testament to do not go to an Ivy League college unless you know what you want to do, because that degree is not going to help you if you have no specialization that you specifically want to go in. And I mean, it really is like you pay all that money for Ivy League college, or even if she got a scholarship, you've paid that money and time, and you really not gaining a career out of it. It's ridiculous in this country.
Like, I'm actually going to go back to school, I think, in the fall.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get a psychology degree.
Mm-hmm.
And then, because I want to like bring in all the other interesting things that, like, behavioral analysis and like all that stuff, because I watch a lot of psychology in Seattle and another behavioral analyst, and like watch them dissect some of these couples and these relationships and these conversations. And I think it's so fascinating. So like, I didn't know that when I was 20, 25 or whatever, 20, 22. And so, yeah, I totally agree that like, your education that you decide to go into when you're in your 20s isn't necessarily going to help you do anything, Ivy League or not.
Yeah. I followed this woman, and the same thing. She's she was using her degree to analyze these conversations on like Love Is Blind. I think I shared a few of those.
Who's your person?
Oh God, I just started following her. I'd have to find it. But this Black woman, and everything that but only because I watch a lot of reality TV, and I've observed how people move, how people do things, watch them offline, met people in person. A lot of the things that I was observing, and like, oh, she definitely did that. She's definitely doing that. She is saying the same thing with her degree.
Yeah, with a degree. Yeah, exactly.
But V agrees that she enjoys watching a show with people that also enjoyed their time there. Absolutely.
Mhm.
Although I will say that watching Sari on Big Brother, her experience is also fun.
Oh wait, did you see when she like had a little freak out moment on the feed?
Yes, I feel bad for her though. I'm like, hush. She was so happy when she won't get picked for the veto. She just be wanting time. Like, can I just have some time by myself? Like,
it was so loud. Everybody's so loud.
And Felicia follows her everywhere.
And like, okay, Tamika, I would assume that you would mostly hate this the most, was when Miss Felicia was doing her pedicure and like clipping her toenails and shaving her feet on.
Listen, I don't have a problem if you're doing it in the room, but don't do it on my fucking bed. Like, that's gross. Like,
and I don't even have a problem with feet, because I like
me neither. I don't have a problem with Olivia, feet, but
I
do that stuff on your bed.
I too want my toes up, but do that on your own bed, because it was just like, it was the laughing for me, like the laughing and her passing gas, like she keeps doing it. She keeps doing it and then laughing, knowing that it bothers me. It's passive aggressive. And I don't like passive aggressive behavior. Because what it's really telling me is you really don't like me. And what she did yesterday confirmed she doesn't like Sari.
No, listen, we will be here all day if we
passive aggressive behavior.
V says the people on Paradise have no desire for love, and that's the problem. Like, my whole thing is, there are 20-year-olds who do want to find love, who do want to find their person, who do want to get married. Is it realistic? I don't think
they should, though.
Okay, is it realistic? No.
I I mean, no matter what, like, because you know that I'm big into astrology as well. Like,
Hmm.
when you're 28 to 30, you're going through your Saturn return, and that is when you actually mature into the person, like, into an adult. And so you're going to be, you know, having life changing moments and
Hmm.
maybe career changing moments. And if you're married, you might get a divorce at this time or like decide to move across the other side of the world. Like, things happen when you're 28 to 30 in everybody's life. And so when people are on the show when they're 24, they have not even come near their Saturn
Right.
return. And I'm just like, I think they all need to hit their Saturn return before they go on the show.
Yeah.
That's my like,
If the show is
28 to
set
30.
up for marriage, like yes, if the show is set up for marriage, and that's the issue. And I feel like back in the day, yes, it worked because, like, I got married at 26. I'm divorced now, but we lasted what 12 years. But back then, that is what you did. Like the Trista and the Ryans, like the age group back then. Yes, you got married in your 20s, and people have lasted, longer time. But now I don't feel like it's a necessity to get married.
Mm-mm.
People are freezing their eggs. People are, dating multiple people as they should. People are focused on their careers, and they should be, because a lot of times you have to be coming into these marriages with a little more than just yourselves nowadays. So it's like, do these people need to be coming on the show to focus on getting engaged and married if they're 21, if they're 19, if they are 22, and
It
nothing?
should just be called finding your next boyfriend
Yeah,
or finding your Instagram boyfriend. Like, you know, like it's just like we
it's
don't
like,
need to get engaged. It doesn't
um
matter.
like on what's her name's podcast, Jesus God, she was on the episode last week,
Trista?
no,
Oh,
last week,
that's this
uh,
week.
uh,
On
On
which show?
Bachelorette, the
yeah, the Bachelorette,
Heather Hannah Brown?
no, the one that just broke up. She has a podcast on the Vine. I mean, not on the Vine.
yes,
Serene? Oh, Caitlin Bristow?
Caitlin.
Yes.
Okay, so like Caitlin was saying, she in her head she would only get engaged once. Like, right, so like she was having this V with V. This is the conversation she had with Serene this week. She said she would only get engaged once, and now she's on. If she gets engaged again, she's on her third engagement.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, is it necessarily her fault? No, because she went on a show where you have to be engaged. So it's like maybe she would only be at one engagement. I mean, so a lot of people get engaged multiple times in their life. But if you were looking just to get engaged one time, you come on this show, that screws up your average. Oh my God. So again, I need them to focus. Like, either I feel like here, I even feel like here, are we forcing Gary to get married?
We're not
No,
forcing
though,
them to
I
get
have to say
married.
that I think that Gary will do what he wants to do.
Right.
So I think that like marriage is what the barometer that's to be set. But if Gary does not want to propose, I don't think Gary will propose.
Right. And
Personally.
so I think they need to do that. I think they need to. I know in their head that probably, but that's what makes us different than us. But that's also what makes you guys not work. I feel like it.
Well, the thing is, though, with the other franchises, I think that they need to have the marriage on the line to make it more serious. But then I think at the same time, they need to bring people that are more serious about marriage onto the
Right.
show.
And don't cast 20-year-olds to get married at the end of the show.
Right. But the premise of getting engaged, I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think the age limit is the issue.
Right. Or do what Bachelor in Paradise Canada does, and have some people come on Paradise from the main shows, but bring new blood in for them to mix and mingle with, and so you can bring in that younger cast. So maybe you are doing 28 and 29 and 30-year-olds, but you are bringing younger 25, 26-year-olds that maybe want to have long-term relationships, but maybe want to get married, and you bring them on the show, and you're bringing in new broad. So those are the things that I just feel like if you're going to shake up the show, please do that instead of trying to, like, have these crazy ass dates, bring on weird things for these people to do, and then try to force these people to get married after they've only really talked to each other twice. That's just that's just so
Not twice. Not twice, Tamika.
listen, the average is not averaging here. So we do begin this episode where kind of we left over, which is like Teresa and Kathy had this big, huge falling out. And
unbeknownst to poor Teresa.
I was gonna say, poor Teresa doesn't realize it's a falling out. She still thinks that Kathy is her friend. And so she wants to mend fences. She's like, I will not give up on her. I will be trying to fix it. Then she wants Kathy to be happy. And I was like, Teresa is so sweet. Kathy, I don't know if she wants you to be happy, Teresa. So there's also that.
Yeah, Kathy just doesn't like
such
her
jealousy.
too. It's something she just doesn't like.
Yeah.
Because when other women have that connection, or she sees she doesn't really react as visceral as she does with Teresa. I think it's just she doesn't like her too. She doesn't like
Susan's sign. Let's see. And well, I definitely think one of the reasons, like, Teresa's a Leo, like we talked about already before, and like I believe that Kathy's a Taurus, and it's just like that Leo energy just irritates her so badly, and like it's just to her who she is, who Teresa is, unfortunately, and so not unfortunately, but like for her that Kathy doesn't really respect her, or like her.
So in walks Trista Sutter, which is, as we all know, the very first Bachelorette. And she comes in and she's like, okay, who here knows me? It seemed like a lot of the women that were left do know who Trista was. But
especially Ellen.
Yeah. She's like, oh, she's my idol. I was like, and she does talk about that she was on just like them. She was on the very first season of The Bachelor, and she was asked to be the very first Bachelorette. And again, when I think of the show in its heyday, it like of watching a journey for love.
Do you remember crying over that damn poem that he wrote?
Yes, I do.
I cried there with my mom. Like,
I remember it. Like
I wanted her to choose him so badly.
Me too.
So badly.
So good looking. And he was
so scared.
So nice.
Yeah.
Like, so sweet. And you just looked at her, and he's such a big guy. And he's a fighter. Veiled.
Yes.
I'm like, Trista, you hit the jackpot here.
And Bob was on her season too, right? Bob, and then her runner-up was Charlie. I think. Like this is how
Charlie,
I loved her season, and I loved Bob. She had some really good men on
Bob
her
was
season.
Funny. Bob was funny.
He was.
Bob Guinea, right?
Yes, Bob Guinea. But I just their energy, just their connection. I was like,
Look,
I know
remembering this from 20 years ago.
Yeah,
exactly.
I was like, he's a regular guy, and I'm not sure she wants a regular guy, but she has to choose Ryan. She has to choose
I was so anxious about it.
God,
I was in knots.
V says, yikes, I was 2 years old when Trista was a Bachelor. Lord Jesus. I was not.
Thanks for that. I already wasn't having a rough Sunday. Thanks for that. Okay.
I think I was definitely a teenager.
I was thinking like my mom was my age when I was watching that with her.
Yeah, I was definitely a teenager. So it's like just a perfect introduction of what we kind of hope this show evolves in. You know, this is the first season of Golden Bachelor. We want a Golden Bachelorette, please, guys. I will probably take almost any woman that has come, like except for maybe Kathy. But
like, they're not going to choose her,
right? So we don't have no problem. I'll take anybody. Like even Nancy that left this episode, she was gorgeous. She's
like really pretty.
I will take anybody. please give us a Golden Bachelorette. Like it's just needed. And so Trista coming in, I am so glad. One thing I am so glad is that she is still connected to the franchise. We have lost most of our Black Bachelorettes, which is sad. I'm hoping that because of the story that Charity got, I'm hoping that her connection will stay. With, she's not the only success story Black Bachelorette wise. Rachel is, but I hope they treat her differently, that she will want to stay tied, because I do think she is a success story for the franchise. But the fact that Trista is the longest success story, and they have been able to keep her in the franchise, is a testament to Trista and Ryan, and hopefully they continue to have that ability to bring her in, because I do think this is a great
all their firsts are quite successful. The only first that wasn't successful was, I would say, the Matt James season, but they did that. No, they didn't do that organically, right? Because with his season, they didn't have it be somebody that was on a previous season, so nobody knew who he was, and he was, and she knew about, like, people knew about him through being Matt James's friend, or sorry, Tyler Cameron's friend, and then like he was supposed to be on Clara's season, and like it was just a lot of things happened, and it just didn't work as well. And I think that if they had chosen somebody different, I think that first Bachelor could have been more successful. But Rachel, first Bachelorette, successful. The original show, The Bachelor, super successful. Original, Trista, obviously Bachelorette, successful. Golden Bachelor, so far, successful. First Bachelor in Paradise, what was it called before?
I can't remember. Bachelor Pad?
Bachelor Pad. It was successful. Like, I love Bachelor Pad. So anyways, like, I'm hoping that they'll do a first Bachelorette or a Golden Bachelorette, and they'll also be successful, because they seem to get it right when they start. It's when they start trying to either reinvent it or exactly.
Yeah, like it, and that's the part that they're not understanding. Like, if you watch a lot of these other shows, the reason they're successful is a lot of times they don't change the formula. And I understand that you're trying not to make it stale, and you want drama, and you want this, and I get social media became a factor. But the reason why some other, like Love Island, is successful because they very rarely change the formula. And when they change the formula, a lot of times it's like, doesn't work. It doesn't work. It like screws up the season, and like, don't change the formula. Don't change it.
Change the people.
Change the people. Change the casting. Change who you're bringing on. Make them be something that we want to watch, and not like, that's why I said you don't have to like make these dramatic things happen. Look at Kathy. Look at Teresa. Do you think that any of them came on thinking they were going to be fighting anybody? No, but because of personalities, it's gonna happen. You don't even have to stage it. You don't have to make it happen.
But I was gonna say, but we didn't get the 2-on-1. I was like, so they didn't use what they had for that. So it's interesting.
So 2003. So wow. I actually just graduated from college. So that means I was 22. Yeah. Wow. 20, I was going to be 23 in April. So, wow. Yeah. And I did remember Ryan, Charlie, and Bob.
That's good. That's good.
Listen, my memory is good. But yeah, so to have that like be just so memorable that hey Debu, how are you? That I can remember it, 20 years later, that like, that I
can only see the season once. I'm assuming you only see the season once when it aired.
Once. I didn't record it. Like, I didn't go back and watch it. Like, that's the part that we're saying, that it's staying power, and that's the problem. That's what you're not having. If you make it so that it has staying power, you will be successful, and you have to find that formula.
I have a question for both of you.
Yeah, okay.
If The Bachelor does a 40 plus age group, like so the middle age
Mhm.
bachelor, bachelorette, would you guys apply?
Depends on the bachelor.
What if like
But
I think
sometimes
some
you
of these
don't
people don't know
know.
who the bachelor is,
Yeah,
Yeah.
right?
sometimes you don't know. You know what?
Like nobody knew who Gerry was.
I actually might. I really actually might.
For
If
me,
I knew it was a black man, I
that's what
probably
I'm
would.
saying. If I knew it was
A
somebody I
black
would be attracted to, and to jeopardize my job, sure.
man.
Because at that point, that's what I'm like, having to take a leave of absence and
Right.
being in the public eye and all this stuff. So yeah, for me it would be, because I'm not worried about, you guys know I have this platform. I don't even follow how many people I have following me. I don't, whoever comes. And I'm sure I could be doing more, but it's never been a thing for me. Whereas with some other people, it is a big thing. So I wouldn't be going on this show to get followers. I
No,
would be
you do it to
going
Right.
find love.
I'd be
Yeah.
going
For
on
love.
for finding love,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
So
Right.
I'm not worried about, oh my God, I can get all this sponsorship. So if I have to quit my job, it's okay. Like I would be sitting there shitting bricks, like, all right, I gotta quit my job. My kids, I gotta make sure that their apartment is paid for. Like, right? You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
so yes, those are 40-year-old problems. But
Right.
if it's a chance to find love, I would do it if I
Yeah.
knew that it was somebody that I could have a chance with, right?
Right,
Mhm.
right. That's the key. Like if you could have a chance with, because certain people only want to date certain type of women or whatever. And so if I'm really not their type and I really don't have a chance, why even go through all of these hoops and bounds? But if I knew it was not that I had to know who the, like, see his face, but if I knew it was a black man, he was serious, I definitely would apply. I definitely would, because being a therapist, I can just kind of like just take a break. I don't really have to, do all the things that maybe you have to do, Tamika. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I get that. And I don't have kids. So it's not like I would have to do all of that. So I definitely would.
Yeah. And Deborah was pointing out something we did talk about last week. Like, not just an age problem. Back in the day, these people were actual careers, so actual lawyers, actual finance people, actual dentists, doctors. And cast now still going through the motions in life. There's still a lot of fitness pros, a lot of
Yeah. And they recruit
influencers.
people now. They recruit people. They go
Yeah,
through social media
yeah,
and recruit people that they want to be on versus having the people actually apply.
right.
Like
And
Married at
hence the
First Sight,
desire
all
for
that stuff. You're
IG.
recruiting people. You're not actually having them
Right,
have the desire and go through
right.
the motion of wanting to apply.
Right. It's like it was back in the day. It was like, oh, I'm busy. I really don't have the time to find love in my career. Let me just take this chance because it's the Bachelor or the Bachelorette. They're going to find this quality person that I can have as a spouse and a partner. That's what it was about. That's what it was about.
Right.
And then it lost its way. It has.
Right.
It has.
I
And
thought about getting a matchmaker. It's so expensive. This
I
love
know.
thing.
I
Like
know.
matchmakers are expensive. And I
There's
didn't even
there's this
know
one that
about that.
I thought about using. She was actually on another reality show.
Devin Simone?
Which one?
Devin Simone?
No, I think I follow her too. But this other one, she was on. She's Jamaican, and she
Oh,
was
Francesca. No?
no.
Oh,
Was she
okay.
on that BET? I mean, or that own?
She,
It was some
yeah,
kind of matchmaking show.
it was the Jesus. It was the Black
Yeah.
Girls. And she was on like a spin-off of Married at First Sight. And it was like a bunch of Black girls. Anyway, she created this thing called the Broom List. And I thought about using her because like you have to be in a certain age group, certain financial standing, and she comes and like goes through your house, has conversations with you, and matches you up with people. So I thought about that, but I hadn't looked into how much it is, but I know it costs money. So
Absolutely.
but like it probably be worth it. I every day it's on the back of it's in the back of my head that listen, if it doesn't work out, if I'm desperate enough, right? But right now I'm just like, I just like it happens, right?
At this point, I'm hoping that it's going to be a Rob as a podcast like fan that like I meet at one of these events, because or like an
That's why you
ex-player
keep
of one
going
of
to the
these
live
shows.
shows. Like, oh, you keep going to live shows.
No, I actually
That's funny.
really love going to the live shows, and I'm just thinking it's like doing things with people that like the same things that you like
Yeah.
potentially. So I'm like, maybe one of these fans or one of these players are going to be someone I need to
It's
meet.
always got to be in the back of your head. It's like trying to find people that enjoy the things that you enjoy can be really hard, even online, because like having conversations are like, oh, I do this, and like I tell people, oh, I run an entertainment company and do reviews and recaps of TV. I have a travel company, and then I'm an accountant by day, and I have guys who like click like I'm doing too much, right? But
Right,
it's
right.
like what,
I'm doing
like
much.
what I'm supposed to be doing nothing. Like I have a
Mhm.
life. Like you would think that would interest somebody, but no, because people they don't want to. There's some people who don't want to broaden their horizons. They don't want to travel. They don't want to do other
Not
things,
my
but
guy.
yeah, and that's not the person for me, right? Like I had that, and that didn't work. Like that the person I was married to did not like to travel, did not like like hated Disney, like, and I love Disney. If you know me, you know I love Disney. So
Mhm.
those are the kinds of things, going out and finding people who have the same interests as you and enjoy the same things as you, that you can sit there, come home and talk about Survivor with, and come
Right.
home
Hello.
and like
I want a Dear Shandy podcast. Like it'd
right.
be like Dear Shan Fran and Stan. Like I don't know.
Like you said,
Stand,
Nikita,
stand, stand.
last week, that your dad and your mom watched The Golden Bachelor, and your dad was,
Yes.
So
and
cute.
it's like it's
Yes.
so cute, like stuff
That
like
is
that. So
cute. That is
yeah,
cute.
and we see this even on this episode. Like this is all about like the things that Gary is interested in, and it's like finding the person that would be interested in these things for you. So I do find it funny though when Trista was talking, Teresa did interrupt her and start talking
Oh
about her
god.
birthday.
I
And
was like, Teresa, like
I'm trying to defend you here,
yeah.
girl.
I'm like
Right.
zip
Please.
it.
Please. Please.
Please
I
stop.
mean, I feel like it was cut, so it looked like she was interrupting to like say that.
Right.
I think it might have been cut because like it was too bad. Like the fact that like she was just like, oh yeah, I was the first bachelorette. She's like, I just gotta tell you that I had the first date and it was, and I was like, she didn't really ask you. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to be offering this right now. So
Yeah.
I'm wondering if it was a longer conversation and then she interjected with like maybe Trista was like, "So what have your experiences been so far?" And then she kind of chirped in. But
Right.
like how they edited it, like
It
I
was
was like,
it
Yes.
was
Teresa,
bad.
Yes. Yes.
It was bad.
It was bad.
So yeah, so it was funny though. I was kind of laughing. So I was like, oh no, like you're
it's
proving
like
Kathy's point. No. Um, and so then we do get Kathy says, see, I think Teresa could be the one for Gary. And I was like, really? You think that? Like this is news? Because either they've been cutting that out, that's your thought,
No, she
or
said that before. No, she said that. She
she's
said,
jealous of her 100%.
yeah, she said that she felt like he could be her, like she could be the one for him, but she doesn't want to hear about it. Like she said that before. Like
right.
that's not, that's
Okay.
not.
I didn't remember her saying that, because I was like, really? I didn't realize you understood that she could be the one.
Yeah,
I
that's part of her jealousy. That's part
yeah,
of her jealousy, you know.
but she said she needs to stop talking details about her date, and I was like, okay. But I feel like other people talk details about the date, and you're fine. So I don't know.
She also
Uh,
don't like her.
Yeah.
yeah. So Trista says she is here for a reason, and it is the first date, which is going to be the group date of the week. And so the date card arrives in April. ITM's like, whomever's name is not on this date card will get the next one-on-one. And so we do read out the names. B says, I was like, Teresa, please none.
Exactly. The okay, please, no.
Um, so on this date is Ellen, Sandra, Susan, Nancy, April, Teresa, Kathy, and Faith. And Faith was ITMing. She wanted more time because she hasn't gotten time since the first impression rose. But unfortunately, Leslie is the one getting this date. Leslie also was ITMing. She wanted more time. She wanted this one-on-one, and she does get this date. What did you think about Leslie being the one to get the date?
I think he
I
likes
liked it.
Leslie. And
I
like,
Yeah.
because Leslie was upset because she didn't get that one-on-one date after the talent show,
Yeah.
correct? And
Yes.
so I think he wanted to make Leslie know that like he likes her,
I
Yeah.
do see you. I
Like,
do
I think
see
he's
you.
very attracted to Leslie. Like I think he's attracted to her,
and the
and
hearing sweet nothings, I think
yeah,
like it was like they liked
Oh
it.
yeah.
So
Oh yeah.
yeah,
Oh, he likes that and that kiss and them dance moves. Oh
yeah,
yeah, he's attracted to
and she
Leslie. I
bakes as
just don't
well.
know if it's emotional. Yeah. But I
yeah.
think physically, yeah, definitely.
Yes, absolutely. And so it says, let's play pickleball. And so we find out for Gary, pickleball is very important. He plays pickleball. And this was the first time I've heard of pickleball. I didn't know
First
what it
time.
was. I
Pickleball
never.
is
Girl,
so
it is
famous
a
right now.
it
Right
is
now.
go it for the past year and a half to 2 years. It has been all the
It's
Over.
rage.
so wait, didn't you haven't seen like so Derek X went to play pickleball with Jeff Probst in the
Oh,
hope
I thought
of
he played
trying.
tennis with him.
Oh, but there was a whole pickleball championship with reality stars, and Tyson, who's huge into pickleball,
Hmm.
didn't get chosen for like the team or something, and like Phil from The Amazing Race I think was on it. Like there's a whole bunch of these like famous reality pickleball players that just did like some sort of tournament, and Tyson was upset that he wasn't asked to play, but like he's a big pickleball
Pickleball.
aficionado. Pickleball is like huge. We were gonna go do pickleball for my best friend's like bachelorette, and I was like,
Really?
maybe we
Yeah.
don't want to
Oh, they
exert.
loved it.
And
Oh, pickleball, they loved
pickleball is
it. Just
huge.
like the
I've never played, but it's huge.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's huge. It
Well,
is.
listen, we find out how huge it is because Trista is there, and guess who's coming in to coach? It is the next bachelor,
Joey.
Joey.
They
Mhm.
had
Uh,
to plug him, girl. They just had to plug him.
they had to come and plug him. I think it was Kathy ITM. I don't know what Charity was thinking. She was thinking Dalton, guys,
Right.
and
She was
and
thinking real love and
yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
And so
and if you watch them, like they're pretty cute. I really like them. And so Kathy's there, like, oh, Gary's more my age, but Joey could be his son, but I have to have a backup, and I was dying
Grandson, I
laughing.
think grandson.
And I was like,
uh,
I was dying laughing because I was like, girl, grandson, and
Because he could be my son easily.
how old is he? 26? How old is
So,
yeah, I think so. He's
25 or 26.
25 or 26. It was funny. We've known since the show started. Ellen is a big pickleball player and a captain of a team in her hometown. And Susan says she just wants to make a good impression. Sandra is trying to keep up. You know, girly got 2 knee replacements. Poor thing. Um, and we do see them like while Joey is coaching. April goes down and Gary cozies up to her, and we find out that April was.
I knew she was faking from the moment she was down
Yeah,
there.
how she went down, she was like, oh, like it was so like it was so actor fall or dance fall. Like it's very graceful her fall. Uh,
B says if Joey needs a backup, I'm available. We're both Geminis. Oh Lord, B, you can have him.
I'm not. Oh yeah, he would be a good age for V.
Mhm,
Um, I am not. I'm not looking forward to that season. When does it
mhm.
start? I'll
I
hopefully
don't even know. They haven't even started promoting it, which I thought is kind
I
of
thought
weird.
did you say December or something?
December.
December.
That's no.
I
January.
Did it say December something or
I would
January?
feel like it would be like the beginning of January.
It's
it's,
probably
it's usually
January.
January, yeah. Um, And we find out that the winning pickleball, they're going to pair off into duos, and that the winning duo of the pickleball tournament that they're about to do will be featured in Pickleball magazine. I was like, there's a magazine too?
No, okay, I just looked it up. It was originated in 1965,
Oh
like the
my
actual game. And let me just see when
God.
the resurgence happened. Resurgence.
And so this is the first Golden Bachelor pickleball champion with championships, which means hopefully if we get more Golden Bachelors, then we hopefully will get more pickleball championships. Maybe.
Oh, it's so cute.
Yeah,
I
and so
just love Ellen. You know, she's my girl. She's my pick, and I just love her. She gets so excited.
it's hosted by Jesse, Trista, and Gary, and we do see that Joey is a ref. And so they are paired off into teams. Teresa and Susan are the picklettes, and they are in purple. April and Faith are the pinky dinkies. They are in pink. Kathy and Ellen are the picklelicious paddles, which are in green. And Sandra and Nancy are the bitchin' kitchens, and they are in orange.
I love all the names. I love all the names. I'm like, I love these people. I love all the names.
And I don't know what it is, but like even if it was like the younger people doing pickleball on this game, like I wouldn't be as invested as I am with these women. Like I don't know why I care more. I don't know.
I don't know.
Oh, there's like look at Sandra. Like
and so we do see the tournament starts with green versus pink.
Mm-hmm.
And during that match, we do see that green does win the first match.
Mm-hmm.
And this is also when we find out going into the second match that Sandra, who is also playing with two artificial knees, is missing her daughter's wedding.
Let me tell you something. Here. When I first heard this, I was like, I know you on here for love, but not your daughter's wedding. Not your daughter's wedding, Sandra. Not her wedding. But I feel like later when we saw them FaceTime, I feel like it wasn't a big wedding. Like, like I feel like it was a low-key wedding.
Yeah.
So I felt better about it. But if it was like like a big thing, not to have your mother there, that would bother me.
Yeah.
I do feel like it was a city hall vibe.
Yes. Yeah. It definitely looked like maybe they ran off to the justice of the peace.
Right.
Because they were literally in bed when they
right.
But I still don't know if I could do it. But I also I have one daughter. Right? Like, so she's getting married at the justice of the peace. She's having a huge wedding. She's having a destination. Wherever it is, I'm gonna be there. But somebody asked in a group chat that I'm in and asked would we miss, and even with my boys, which I have two boys, even if as the mother of the groom, you normally not involved in the planning, blah 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 blah, I still wouldn't miss it. I
just don't want your children to look over and not see their mother, right?
Right.
I think that's the thing, right?
Yeah. So I don't know how she did it, but it did give low key. Maybe they're doing something huge when she comes back.
Right,
I don't know. I hope so.
Well, maybe the big part. Maybe that's the thing. Like maybe this was just like being a witness.
Yeah.
And then there's going to be like a big party, and so like it actually was like it just two separate occasions. So
right.
She'll be at the one that matters.
That matters, right? Which I know lots of people in my family that they have done that. Like they got married like before and then had huge weddings after, and so yes, all possible.
Like even my best friend was going to do that before. They ended up having the wedding in their backyard, and so her mom was there, but she was going to I was going to go with them, be the witness at City Hall, and then have the big party where everybody, including her mom that lives out of country, would be able to join. And so yeah, I think that makes most sense as to why it was okay that she wasn't there. It wasn't like she was there with her veil on and she's
Right.
Mother
like,
wasn't there
no,
in none of the
they look
pictures, right?
pretty casual. It looked like they're picking up a piece of paper.
Hello.
Kind of like
We did it. We
like
did
Serena
it.
and Joe's
Joe,
first wedding.
first
Right?
wedding, yeah,
They're
yeah.
super casual. I
Like
doubt the parents are there.
Becca and Thomas's like wedding this past week, so which was very cute. And so yeah, so Gary finds this out from, I think, Jesse during the tournament. He's like, oh, okay. He didn't know. And so and this is like, yeah, because he's probably not had real time with Sandra to have these conversations with her since night one. It's
Right.
unfortunate. And so next up is Bitch in Kitchen, which is orange versus purple. And orange does win that part of the tournament. So it is going to be orange versus green. And listen, Gary was excited watching this tournament.
Yes, he was.
He was into it.
He was into it. He's like, the momentum, like even his ITMs telling us about how it was going, like momentum back and forth. No one wanted to lose. He was like into it. So listen, he said pickleball is very important to him. And this is one of those things that he wants to enjoy with his partner.
So I'm just thinking,
Mm-hmm.
should we all give this a try?
Yeah,
See if there's any
pickleball?
pickleball little organizations in our communities, just to see if there's people there that like pickleball that like we might like, because it could be an untapped market because it's a new resurgence. I was looking online. You're right, Ms. T. Joy, within the last year and a half or so. It started in 2022. Yes, it's been around for 30 years, but it only, not 30 years, like 6 years, but like it only just came back into play a year and a half ago. So a lot of cool people I know play pickleball. Like cool people.
I have a feeling, because let me see.
I mean, they have a league up at this country club that's not too far from me, but
at the country club, that sounds fun.
I go there sometimes for drinks, but I don't want to.
Well, maybe you have pickleball, then after you celebrating your win, you have a little pre-game or a post-game cocktail.
Maybe so. Maybe I should go, even if I don't want to join it. Maybe I need to start being a spectator.
Yeah, just like.
I'm so into that. And then when they win and they come up, oh my gosh, you're so good. How did you get so good?
You got to play pickleball?
Maybe you can
show me your strokes.
So I think because I see a lot of women's pickleball league, I think we would have to like try to see if we get some either mixed leagues or, like Ms. T. Joy is saying, actually watching some other leagues. I did think this also when I like to golf, but I don't golf like heavy duty. Like I'm not in a country club or whatever. So sometimes I'll go like just like how do you say it, like simulation golf or top golf, stuff like that. But which is fine. So I think we can think about doing something like that. But yeah, when I'm looking, there's a lot of pickleball courts and clubs near me.
Me too.
So we will just see. Well, stay tuned, guys. Stay tuned.
I'm gonna give it a try.
Mm-hmm. And so green team does win, and we do see they hit. Ellen gets a kiss, and then Kathy gets a kiss. Ellen's kiss was a little more passionate.
Kathy's quite awkward, in my opinion.
It was.
She's so stiff.
Yeah. And then they have like cute little photo shoots at the tennis court for the magazine. We'll have to find out if that, like, those pictures were actually what used for in Pickleball magazine. It hasn't even come out yet. But they said they had lots of fun, and then we see them like courtside at the little like courtside picnic that they had. And they're all in like bright flowy dresses. It was very nice vibe.
Their little
Yeah,
spring dresses were so cute. It was so
nice
cute.
little vibe. I liked it. And so Sandra does pull Gary, or Gary pulls Sandra, and they do talk about her daughter's wedding. And he's like, I didn't know this, and she's like, like that's a big thing. And she's like, yeah, but I was conflicted at first, but then my daughter said to me, Mom, I got my guy. Go get yours. And I was like, oh my
That's so
That was
sweet.
sweet.
That was so sweet. That
oh
was so sweet.
And so he's like, well, I got a surprise for you. How about we FaceTime your daughter? And then the cutest little scene happened.
Girl, if that's not my daddy, when I video call my dad, I'm like, Dad, I cannot see your face. I cannot see you. I'm like,
I'm like, Mom, I don't want to be looking at your ear right now. like
Listen, I told some, who was it? Oh, same group chat that I'm in. They were talking about, do people like get anxiety about being FaceTime and like answering FaceTimes? And I was like, I don't have Apple products like that, and so I don't have those problems because it would give me anxiety for people just.
I have that problem with Facebook dating though. I am an Android user as well, so you can't FaceTime me. But people do Messenger. They video me through Messenger on Facebook without my consent.
Unannounced.
And then they do like Facebook dating. You can do a video. They just randomly, sir, we need to set up a time. Don't just randomly try to video call me. And we only said 4 sentences to each other. I am working. I am driving. It doesn't even matter if I'm at home. I'm not ready. Like, who said I wanted to do that? I don't like that. I don't like it.
The other day on Bumble, some guy, like we connected, so like he had liked me, and they sent me. You know how it is on Bumble, like they send you like anonymously that this person likes you, and if you swipe it, then they connect you. Well, I swiped it, and we connected, and so I typed hi to the guy, and then he sent me this whole audio thing on it, and I was like, oh God, like it's late at night, I'm watching like Big Brother, so like I have to like either wait for it to go on commercial, put it on mute, that's I'm like, please. And I hate my voice. I know, guys, I host a recap show. I hate my voice.
Most people are not used to their voices, what it sounds like to on the recording, you know what I mean? Because it doesn't sound necessarily how it is on like in your head. So I get that. You'll get over that soon.
Well, I've had men and women like, oh my God, you have such a lovely voice. I'm like, I do. But, like, so I get compliments, so I kind of over it, but it's just like it gives me anxiety because it's not my go-to. Like, I hate phone calls, I hate audio usage. So, and like even the other day at my new job, like I went to a women's it was like mini conference they did at my job. It was awesome. It was like I was there a week, and they did like this mini women's conference, and they had all the new female employees stand up and introduce themselves. And I was like, normally I would not do that because I get anxiety with public speaking. But it's like I'm also now my manager. I had one of my subordinates sitting there, like at this point, like an example, I had to do it. So, and our boss was the person speaking at this conference, so it's like our big boss. So it was like stuff that I have to get used to doing. And stuff. So it was like, okay, you just have to get used to it, and then you are doing it. But here, this was so funny. They were having trouble with this. But they got it. She's like, we're so old. I was typing like this. I love Sandra. I'm sorry. I love her personality. I know a lot of people are not like thinking she probably will be the Bachelorette but if she does a Golden Bachelorette season at all, she would be spectacular because she has the best personality. Like, she has everything. She has beauty and she has the personality, I feel like, that would go along with being like doing really well in the show. Does she have?
I won't pick her. I know. I
Right.
know they will
Well,
not pick her. I don't
I
even think
don't
they'll
think
pick
they'll
someone
pick her
brunette.
because I think, first of all, I don't think she has a strong connection with Gary at this point for it to have that momentum. And also she's a person of color. But yeah.
But
Um,
I'm saying, look, I think they're going blonde. They're gonna go blonde for the first Bachelorette.
yeah,
That's my opinion.
yeah,
I don't even think they'll go brunette.
yeah. And so her son and daughter-in-law her son-in-law and daughter pick up, and they have the sweetest conversation. As we said, it did look very, very casual. It did not look like that she missed much. Maybe she did, but it didn't look like, because she said the wedding was that day, and I was like, I don't know. Is it? I don't know where Sandra is from. Like maybe they were on the East Coast, so it was late, but we
They've
know they
already
were.
changed whatever. Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, so but it still looked, because I know even after my own wedding, I was dead. Like, to have somebody try to call me that night after I took off everything, no, yeah, absolutely no. Mother, daughter, sister, brother, no, nobody
No,
called me.
there's a reception another
Yeah,
day.
yeah, yeah,
100%.
yeah. So then we get Teresa pulls Kathy into have a conversation. She wants to be open and honest with her, and I'm just like, Teresa, girl, God, you might gotta let this go.
Let it
Um,
go, girl.
she's still trying to be her friend, and she's like, she thinks they're friends, and Kathy tells her, just don't tell me what's going on with you and your connection. It gives me anxiety. And like I said, fine, fine, fine. But then Teresa tries to explain why she was doing things, because again, she thinks that they were friends.
Right.
And Kathy just goes in on her and berates her, like berates her, and tells her that I didn't appreciate it. I didn't appreciate.
No.
No, it
No,
was me.
like it's one
Like
thing.
how it felt to me
Mhm.
was that she feels as though, she talks about Teresa's clothes being so small, and like she has this connection with Gary, and she doesn't like that she does all these things. But I think she knows that Teresa is a kind person, that she
Mhm.
can kind of bulldoze and just be
Exactly.
like, put her in her place and be kind of nasty to her, and she's not going to
Right.
combat her, she's not
Right.
going to go toe to toe with her. And so I just feel like it's kind of a bullying type thing,
Yeah.
just
It
to be
is.
honest.
It is because she only really stopped once Gary talked to her about it. Then it was like, oh, I've gotten caught and chastised. Somebody put me in my place about it. Let me stop it. But if Teresa would have never told him, she just would have kept doing it as long as she was there because she knew that she
Hmm.
could. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like it was
It,
because she
it,
didn't do that with Susan. She wouldn't dare do that with Susan.
no,
No
Like,
way.
no. So yeah, she tells her to zip it, and it was not kind. So we do see Ellen and Gary talk courtside, and Gary ITMs that he had a conversation with Trista, and Trista told him to stop looking for the woman he can live with, and to look for the woman he can't live without. Some sage advice from the first Bachelorette, Trista. I loved it. But he says it opened his eyes that he had a great day, but having the conversations after that, we see him talking with Nancy, we see him talking with Faith. We don't really hear a lot of what they're saying, but he said it really opened his eyes to what he should be looking for and having conversations with these women. Teresa and Gary do talk, and this is after her conversation with Kathy, and um she does they do bring up the situation from the week before about her expressing her connection with him, and she just kind of tell him, well, I thought that Kathy was my friend, and so I was she said Kathy always said that I could be the one for you, and so I thought that I was talking to a friend, and I thought that in general the women would go on these dates and have connections with you, and we would all bring back what we experienced with you to the house. And then she's like, but I realized that, things weren't the way I was seeing it. And then she told me to zip it. And you could see Gary was very upset.
Mm-hmm.
And then he does pull Kathy to talk, and he asks her about it, and she explains. And rightfully, I agreed. Her explanation of
It was
why,
something different.
yeah, why she did things was because he even said, he's like, yeah, but I did go and comfort her. There's no problem with me going to comfort her because I comforted you and I gave you a
You too.
special rose.
Right.
And I was like very glad that Gary pointed that out to her, because it's like
Right.
you're making something out of nothing, because when it happened to you, it was okay. And I'm sure you went back and told other people how it felt for you and what it did for you. So why shouldn't Teresa be able to express that in in this setting? And Kathy's upset because she was
She,
like, "Why?"
she couldn't get in a word, and she's like,
Right.
like
Yeah,
I was like,
she,
ooh.
she's like, "I'm not getting the rose because of Teresa."
No, you're not getting a rose because of you, Kathy. Your actions.
I don't feel like she was ever getting a rose from this. The amount of roses that there was left, I don't think she was ever getting a rose for this rose ceremony, because they don't have a connection like that.
Mhm.
They just don't. I didn't see it. To He walked Nancy out the door, and I don't understand why would you think you would get. And I feel like he might have been more attracted to Nancy than you. So yeah,
Right.
no. Um, and so we do see the group date rose is given to Sandra. And she is happy. She's like, he's a sentimental kind of guy, and I gave up a lot to be here for him and I. And I thought it was very sweet.
Mm-hmm.
And next we see Leslie in the car talking about she wants more of a connection. So we're getting in here, like, Leslie also doesn't feel like she has a connection with him, but she wants to develop more of a connection because Gary is the kind of guy that she wants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so
Mm-hmm.
she wants to build a connection with him. And we see Gary arrive on an ATV. And we know that Leslie rides a motorcycle. Gary used to ride a motorcycle. And so they do go ATVing. Was anybody else concerned about them going ATV?
I
I
was
mean, I'm always scared.
concerned. I was. I was concerned.
I
But
was
they do
concerned.
both. They do both.
And even Leslie said it, that she was a little scared would it tip over. And I've been ATVing once. Thankfully, I was sitting behind a strong guy, so I was holding on to somebody. But yeah, no,
I went ATVing for my 21st birthday. I was in Dominican Republic,
Mhm.
and they call them funny bikes over there. And
Oh,
so I was the one that was driving because they are manual, and so like you have to like gear shift on like the handlebars. I think it was the handlebar or the pedal. I can't remember, but I think it was the handlebars. And so my best friend was like behind me, and like we were fine, whatever. But we did see a few people in front of us that didn't know how to ride these that well. Like we just saw one guy just like going like, oh, and, like into this like mud pit, just like slowly just
really going off. Oh my god, I can't. Yeah,
in a
very
mud pit. He
scary.
came out covered head to toe in mud. It was funny, but we
Very
were good.
scary.
We just had like mud spatters on our face, but like other than that, we were good. I was driving, and then I let her drive for a second, but she doesn't know drive standard, and I was like, do you know what? We're gonna have to switch this. This is
Yeah, that's not gonna work. That's funny. Yeah. So when I went, I did get a lot of mud and stuff covered. So that was you had to wear buffs, like over your mud. It's a lot. But it was fun. So she says that Gary makes her feel safe and special. And then we see that they went individually ATVing, then they went ATVing together. And we do see it interrupted back at the mansion. They're playing Never Had I Ever with ice cream.
Ice cream. Was that not the cutest thing? With ice
It was
cream?
cute, and it was also obviously dangerous.
for
For Susan, it
Sandra.
was very I mean, for Sandra, it was very dangerous, right?
Yes, for me as well. Like, 'cause I don't tolerate milk easy
But
either.
there's this one, I don't know if you have in the States. I don't know if it's an American product or Canadian, but it's called, the brand is So Delicious.
Hmm.
And it is a salted caramel crunch, but it's with
Hmm.
cashew ice cream, and there's bits of cashews in there. It
Ooh, that sounds
is
good.
Ooh, that sounds
so
Ugh.
Good.
Drop
Like
that in the group chat because I gotta find that.
It's called what? The brand is
so delicious.
so delicious.
Yeah.
No, I've never heard of that brand. So
No,
delicious.
I've had So Delicious, but I've had their strawberry coconut ice cream because
I've
it
never had that.
Let
uses
me look that.
coconut, and I think that's the other one. Um, so they play Never Have I Ever, and so first one is Kiss a Woman's Husband in April. I don't know if you guys did we talk about April on
April was eating up some ice cream. You hear me, baby?
here?
You hear me?
So
I already knew April used to be that girl. I told you if she was the young, if the Bachelor was out when she was younger, she would have been on there.
Oh, for sure. She
I
still
already
looks
told you
like
April
this
was
way.
that girl. I already know.
so apparently April was the mistress of some famous guy. I forget which one.
Really?
They talked about it. Oh, so who talked about it? I'll remember shortly.
Dear Shandy, I think it was talked about it.
I'll remember in a second.
Yeah, and so yes, April was that girl. So kiss a person's husband, she absolutely definitely did that because she was like this person's mistress for years. Years. And Sex in the Workplace, she worked for this person as well. So years as well. So Sex in the Workplace, it was April and Sandra. Sandra said her husband and her did it everywhere. It's like, ooh, I need that. Sandra then ITM said yes, like this ice cream is not a good idea because she's lactose intolerant. Like, oh my god, poor Sandra. Backseat of a car. Nearly everyone but Kathy, and Kathy's ITM is she's like these
It's at the Target. It's at the Target. I'm about to get it.
uh Kathy's like, I got some catching up to do. Uh, and so I do kind of wonder also if experience is coming to play in Kathy's machinations of why
Well, do we
she's
know if
doing this.
she's divorced or widowed or
No,
if she
I
has any children or anything like that?
We
Because
do
like
know she has children. We do know she has children, right? Because she's mentioned children before. I don't know if she's divorced or widowed, but
right,
she's mentioned children.
yeah. So I'm just wondering, maybe she was married to one person again, not very experienced or whatever, but that also could come into play. Maybe she's not well dated, so there's also that. And so then the next one is I've been with a woman sexually, and Susan's their own shit.
He was trying to be all. She's like, oh.
And so Susan and April do
Like, am
eat
I the
there.
only one? Am I the only one? Am I gonna tell? Am I gonna tell? And it's like she's like battling with herself, and then finally she eats a little bit. Like, oh my, like
Oh my gosh!
grandchildren are
So,
gonna see this.
very funny, but I love those kinds of stories, like because women need to know that, like your experience is not like just happening in this generation. Did they talk about it all the time? No, or they talked about it in like this, like in like really close group friends or that kind of stuff. So it's what even like when we watched Claim to Fame season 1, and one of the women on there was Whoopi Goldberg's granddaughter, and she was talking about her
fictitious
grandmother.
grandmother, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, like love life, like
Well,
women of
she
that
was
age.
saying, she was saying though that she was her lie was that she
Mhm.
was an
Oh
adult
yeah, her
film
lie that
star.
she was a porn star.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she used like Whoopi Goldberg's real life dating history in
Yeah,
some
yeah,
of these
yeah.
stories. So
Yeah.
V says the Never Have I Ever was so refreshing. It made the women look like real people. That's what I'm saying. Like I think a lot of women in our age group and younger feel like the things that they are doing, experimenting, like having these encounters with other people is stuff that's new, and it's not.
Right.
It just
Right. And then they
it's
got
just
to
not.
see that this has been going around.
Right.
And with doing it with ice cream, you're focused on the story and not with the person getting drunk or
Drunk. Right.
who's going to
Right.
get the
Right.
kissiest. You're focused on what they're saying. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? Like keeping it. I like
So
that.
So I thought it was a great thing. I'm glad that they plugged this into here.
Although I don't want to find out that my mom has been with women on TV. I did
True.
not know
Like mom, maybe,
I mean,
maybe,
I do actually. I'd be like,
maybe tell that story ahead of time so I don't know.
Grandma, Grandma, I can't believe you did that.
That's funny.
I like it.
And it'd be like, did you know your? Well, is that what she said? Okay. Now I
Grandma
know.
gotta
Now
have
we
a
know.
life
We all know.
too.
Yeah. So back to Leslie and Gary. They sit down, and she says her feelings have grown in the last few hours. He embodies the things that she's wanted from others in the past. She feels like she doesn't have a good picker. She's been a single mom, and they've had that discussion. She said the only people who've ever had her back are her kids. And he asked her how long has she been single, and she's like 22 years. And she says she's really glad that it was Gary that was here because she feels like if it wasn't, she would have left otherwise. Now, what did we think of this conversation?
I think that she was being vulnerable without being too victimy.
Yeah,
I think that she was just explaining her situation, and that
yeah,
yeah, this has been hard for her, and yes, that there must be something really special here, and that's why I'm here. And I thought it was an honest conversation, and I thought it was soft, and I didn't think it was needy in a way,
yeah,
it could have been like, I haven't been with anybody in 22. Like didn't
yeah.
have like any whiny,
Bite
needy,
to it, yeah,
victim-y
yeah, yeah.
sounding to it. It was just like an honest recounting. And even her saying some things that could seem a little bit like a victim, it didn't come across that way to me, but it could be because I like her. And so I'm seeing her in a good light, as best a light as I can.
Hmm.
But I like the conversation. I like them together.
Yeah, I thought so too. So it's like, okay, I can tell he is very into her, very attracted to her, but this is starting to definitely build that emotional awareness between the two. So I could definitely see potential for something to develop. Whether they have time for it to develop, we'll have to see. But they do kiss tenderly. And she said that this brought their relationship to another level. And he says it opened. She opened up and let her guard down and gave him pieces of her. And he says she has the most beautiful eyes, and he loves the way she looks at him. And she feels like they've progressed, and he feels like they've progressed, and that if he feels like if he left today with Leslie, it would again be a good life. So they go into a hot tub, and she gets the rose, and they kiss passionately on that one. It was
Ooh.
a very nice kiss, and she is very excited for what's to come. And that next up is the rose ceremony. And I mean, that was such a good date. I do feel like that was probably, I think, the most passionate dates that we've had of all the one-on-one dates. And so we will see like what develops. So at the rose ceremony, Sandra is not feeling well. So he
It's
does
the ice
come.
cream.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, that ice cream done took her out.
Yeah, and so he does come like early. Gary does come earlier in the day to have conversations with them. So we see that they're just like sitting there, just regular, relaxed. We see Nancy has a stress fracture from the pickleball tournament, and he items that they are halfway through the process. And I was like, oh my God, it's almost over. And Gary's like, he's he's gone beyond what he could like imagine things would have been. And he does pull Susan, and she's wearing the most beautiful pink flowy jumpsuit. Susan looked good. She had her hair slicked back. Oh, Susan looked
Mm-hmm.
good. And she says that this is do or die. They need to have these conversations, and even Teresa has said that they need to have these conversations in order to really see if moving forward it's going to happen. And he presents Susan with this rose quartz gift. It's just like a rose quartz crystal, and she comes back and she says it reminds him of his wife. And
I think she does with that short, dark
yeah,
hair.
I think so too. I do think that Susan reminds him a little bit of his wife. And I'm not seeing the connection yet, but maybe it'll happen. Susan's beautiful though. Like, so it, again, another person, like, she has a great personality. If she was gonna go the Bachelorette, I could see it. Like,
Yeah, she would
uh,
bring humor too. She's funny
yeah,
too.
yeah. So it's like, I don't know, but they had a lovely conversation. And Kathy Itens, he's made connections to everyone. He's so good about it. Like, I think he's probably one of the best bachelors in being able to do this, just making connections with everybody, like
Hmm.
in one way or another. Um, so Ellen does sit down with Gary, and she tells him she's falling in love with him, and he tells her he is in the same place as her. Um, and that the last time he
Well, what
felt
y'all
this,
think about that? What you think about that? Because I've been telling y'all she my pick.
and the last time that he felt like this was with Tony, and they kiss. I was just like, no, I think I said I think Ellen was the sleeper. I think he's attracted to brunettes, but I think Ellen is the person, the dark horse that could come and just come and be the one.
I think he's gonna pick a brunette, and I think that Ellen might be the Bachelorette. He's they're gonna go blonde for the Bachelorette, but I think he's gonna choose a brunette. This is my prediction. I haven't pulled any cards yet, but that's what I'm feeling. But I think, yeah, she's
Oh, you
lovely.
haven't pulled any cards?
Not yet, no.
You should pull cards.
Yeah, I'll do. Yeah, I'm going to. It's just all about time, guys.
Yeah.
Time.
Gary realizes he's in farther places with some people than he is with others, and in leading to that, he and Nancy have a conversation, and they talk, and she realized he's more passionate with others, and he says he can't dispute it, and so they mutually agreed to part ways, which I thought was sad because I did like Nancy, but also there was just no connection there.
Mm-hmm.
She says goodbye to the others. They're crying. This is the other thing. Just regardless of the Kathy Teresa thing, these women seem to have built beautiful
Yeah.
camaraderie that we actually see. That, like, even at the rose ceremony, we see that they're embracing each other. I love you. Call me, text me. I will see you. And we know we have that after the Bachelorettes. And the Bachelor
They all hug
episodes,
if they're going home. Yeah.
right? But we know that a lot of them are really close friends, and we see it like even in Bachelor in Paradise, which we'll talk about. But it, we just don't get to see it enough because they want to pit everybody against each other because it's a competition with them, right? And so we do end with this rose ceremony saying because they change and then they go into the rose ceremony. He does say that this rose ceremony is weighing on him, and that there are more decisions to be made, and it's going to be hard, but he knows he has to do it. And so with this rose ceremony, Sandra does not show up to the rose ceremony, but she already had her rose because she's not feeling well, so she will miss the rose ceremony. Leslie has a rose already, so there are 4 roses to give out, and it goes to Ellen, Faith, Susan, and Teresa. Are we shocked at any of those? No,
Absolutely not.
absolutely not.
At this point, though, like as we see in the previews for the next few episodes,
Mhm,
that like it's getting out real hard because like all
mhm.
these women I think that are left at this point are maybe not Susan so much, but they're all real contenders.
Contenders
Right.
And I'm like, oh boy, I see him. I could see him with all of them,
with
and
all of them.
Exactly.
so it's gonna get
Exactly.
hard for Gary.
It is.
Yeah.
And so going home is April and Kathy. Debu does here bring it's a affair with Frankie Valley. She was 16 when it
Oh.
started, and he was around 40. Yeah. So Frankie Valley, he
Oh
was in,
wow.
if you know the story of the Jersey Boys, if you've seen it on Broadway or seen the movie, yes, that Frankie Valley, at very New Jersey esque
He
storyline.
was 16 and he was 40.
I think he
My
was
God.
36, but yeah,
Yeah,
close to 40.
close to
Oh.
40. And so
16.
yeah.
Ugh.
So April does say it's been a great adventure. She is ready for love. It is not over for again. April would be a great bachelorette. Like she has history. She has a lot going for her. She has a great personality. I hope she finds love. And Kathy says it's sad to say goodbye, but she knows there's strong connections with other women. Gary does walk her out, and he says he hopes that she finds her guy, and she tells him that she's sure that he's gonna find his. And I am sorry to see us lose our April because she did give great commentary. I think
Yeah.
it was
April
definitely
could
time.
be a bachelorette, golden bachelorette as well, because she's very flirty and she's
Yeah,
very kind of fun,
that's what I'm
spunky, and
saying.
so I could really also see her leading a golden
That's
bachelorette.
what, yeah.
She has like she's the celebrity kind of connection as
Hmm.
well, and so I could see her being in that role.
Yep, absolutely. I think with Kathy, it was time for her to go. One more rose, she
Thank
would have
God,
thought that there was too
no
much
chance.
going on, and then we end up in 2-on-1 territory. And I don't think that's what we needed this first season. So,
Right.
um, Gary is scared.
I hope they
Could
don't do
be.
that to him. Gary
Yeah,
can't take no 2-on-1. He
yeah,
can't.
no. Gary was. It says he's scared. It's very scary to realize it's halfway through the journey. They are a week away from hometowns, guys. Did we realize that?
I mean, there's only 6 women left, so I guess yeah.
And so when he's like it can't wait to find the woman he can't live without, and they toast to love. And we do get a preview of a lot of stuff happening. If this season is not over, guys, we are only halfway through. V says, "Poor April." Yes, we are gonna miss April, and bye, Kathy. Yes. So, guys, thank you for
Not for April and bye, Kathy.
at this point. I haven't listened. Kathy did a few interviews last week, and I didn't listen to them. Maybe I'll listen to them.
She's just gonna be making excuses as to why
Yeah.
she was
That's what
removed.
I feel like. I felt like some of the stuff I saw in press, it felt like that's what she was doing. So I just really wasn't interested in listening to them. But guys, thank you so much for joining us for this Golden Bachelorette. Recap Bachelorette. Ooh, look at me being prophetic. Golden Bachelorette recap. And so we are going to head over to Chantel's channel, Reality Realness with 3 S's, to talk the Bachelor in Paradise episode from this week.
We're gonna
Um,
speed through it, okay?
yeah,
We're speeding through it, but we're gonna be going there right now.
yeah.
Yeah, so
So
you're
we're
gonna want to join us. So
yeah.
come on, you come
Yeah.
too. You come
So
too.
and make sure you head over there and follow Chantel and Miss T Joy on all socials, and make sure you're following me on all social entertainment and color. I'm chit chatting Big Brother. I'm chit chatting House of Villains on Twitter, on IG, and I will be back on Tuesday for the Traders Canada recap with Janelle Michaud, and we'll be back at the end of the week for our Big Brother recap. The season is almost over, thank God. And then I'm going to be doing a cast assessment of Love Island Games now that I know the format. And it looks like it's going to be a 6-week show starting November 3.
It's like Sunday to Friday, or like it's
Yes, 6 days a week. But I listen, just like I covered Love Island USA, I am going to cover this show. I have nothing else to do in my life this November, apparently. So
oh, okay. I was like, I got a lot to do.
yeah, so okay, guys, meet us over there. We're going there now. Thank
Right
you guys
now.
for joining us. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.